Hello and welcome to this second tutorial video on how to make a button jointed ragdoll. Here I've got the 4 pieces that will make the 2 tops of the legs. I need 2 pieces and I'm going to turn this one over so that I can place the wrong sides out, right sides in, and I'm going to line up all of the notches and pin them together. Very much as we did if you followed our how to make the arms for our ragdoll. It's a very similar process. Making the legs, it's slightly more complicated because we have the bottom of the foot to put in, and again, as with the arms of the ragdolls, on this doll, getting those notches lined up and keeping it all straight is important. This section here where we've given you the extra little bit that you can tuck in, which will make your ladder stitch when you're closing up the back of the leg here a little simpler. Now if you've been sensible, you'll have marked these pieces with a few threads. I've just put dots on mine. That's going to be where the button joints are going in. If you haven't already done that, then now's a good time to do it while your pieces are still flat. Once you've sewn them together, you can still lay your pattern piece over the top and make sure you mark the button jointing cross. There's a little cross on your pattern. Right, we're going to sew this all the way around from this section here, 5mm seam allowance all the way around to there, and leave this open for filling. With the lower leg, we've got notches marked there, and we're going to line those up with the gusset. So this is the right side to right side. I'm getting the right sides together and I'm lining up the notches there on that gusset. So the gusset's are oval, and you'll see this centre mark, this centre point here is the most important point to line up. When you're sewing them together, it's so important that you bring all of your seams together neatly at that point. That'll give you a nice neat V shape, and that V is the point that the upper leg is going to sit inside that V when you button joint, so we want that to be really accurate. Take your time to line the notches up. And now we've got that pinned in place. You can either sew that if you're ready, but I like to get it all pinned together. So that's 1/2 of that curve sewn. I'm going to lift up the gusset and I'm going to fold down the pinned bit like that, and then get my other leg right sides together, place that over the top, and I can pin that second part of the curve in place. So I'm lining up all of the notches again. This section here is very important. That bit where the 2 sides of the curve come together, that central point, is the most important bit on here to line up accurately, because gosh, I really do struggle with accurately. Accurately. Correctly. Is there precisely? Let's pin that together precisely. At this point, I'm going to pull the lower leg down to make sure I don't trap any of that extra bit of fabric in, and I'm going to pin that together there precisely. And then that's the last of the notches on that side of the curve. Okay, so that's my 2 sides of my gusset pinned together to the outer parts of the leg. Now we'll pin the lower part of the leg, starting at the heel, one of those nice definite points to line up, and then the toe side. You can't go wrong with a well lined up toe. And the curve here where the foot becomes the leg, we can line that up. And I'll pop one in the middle of the leg there, the front of the leg. And here at the back where we've got that extra little section that we've put on there so that it makes it a little easier for you to do a ladder stitch, we're going to leave that open. So we'll pop a pin on the other side, just there. And now we're ready to sew that all the way around. And we're going to sew this bottom section here, and that little bit, don't miss that bit from the opening up around the toe and up to the join there, and then all the way around the curves. So around here on the first curve, and then turn it over and around the other curve. Same 5mm seam allowance. And that gives you that V shape, a bit like a cowboy boot, isn't it? And leave that open for filling, and this bottom section now is where we're going to pop the bottom of the foot. So these two are sewn, and we're going to pop these foot bottoms in. There's an opening here, and the seam is going to line up with the notches at the front and the back. So the front bit lines up with this wider section. It's all right sides together, wrong sides out again. And the notch lines up with the seam on the toe. Just there. And at the back, you've got notches that you can line up at the back. Just there. Now this often looks as though it's not going to line up. This is a case of use a few more pins and do it in little sections and line up the two edges and ease it in. It will absolutely fit if you've cut it out to the pattern. Just keep easing it in, keep lining up those edges all the way around. Naya will have cast her critical eye over this. She's a real stickler for getting these patterns absolutely spot on. She's fabulous. So she'll have made sure this lines up properly. That one there. That one in there. And then I'm going to do this by hand just because it's a bit fiddly to get under the machine, but up to you. I'm going all the way around that curve. And that's the lower leg done. That concludes our tutorial video. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, please subscribe. We'd love your feedback and a like. There are more videos coming soon.